unsweet 16th birthday. My name is Anna Athena. Weird name, I know. I get that a lot. I always get asked if I'm from Greece or something. Nah, I was born and raised in Michigan. The only places outside of Michigan I've ever been to is Chicago and Ohio. Otherwise, I spent my whole life in Michigan. All I can say is that I got my name from my mom. Not gonna go into details because that's not why we're here. But hey, it can't be that bad because my dad liked it. So, my name did get me picked on a little bit, but oh well. That's not what we're here for. We're here to tell you about my 16th birthday. Okay, first, let's just start with to say that no one in my family is normal, but let's get onto that later. So, I grew up in the same house as my dad. Our house is big and we have a lot of land. Ever since I was a little kid, I would always able to play in the woods behind the house. I never went very far in the woods. I've always stopped at the river that's like half a mile in the woods through our land. I would go in further as I got a little older, but not by much. What happened in those woods on what was supposed to be my sweet 16th, I will never be able to forget. So, it's my 16th in where we live. The internet is so slow and stuff that's pretty much a no-go. So, decided to go in the woods. There's not much else to do. I walked the path alongside the river like normal, but today I decided to go in further. I went past the halfway point and kept going. I walked about half a mile in more and I came by an old house. I thought that was strange considering that my family owns like 1,000 acres of land, which is a lot, and there was never any mention of a second house. The only other buildings that I've ever seen on my family land besides the house is our barn and shed. We also have a small cabin on our grounds for groundskeeper and staff to help out, but other houses, no. I has always been a curious person, so naturally I decided to go check it out. I wanted to know why there was a house on my family land that might not even belong to my family. I mean, everyone in town knows that this part of the woods belongs to my family. People can't just build a house in the middle of the woods when I got, especially in woods in someone else's land, because that's just rude. When I got into a better view of the house, I saw that it was an old Victorian style house that had seen better days. I walked up the driveway, if you can call it that. It was more like a path, really. The whole outside of the house looked like crap. Paint chipping, missing big chunks of broken windows, rotting wood. You name it, the house had it. Mother Earth was taking back the house by wrapping it in vines and stuff. The closer I got to the house, though, I started to get a bit bad feeling about this place. Like a moron, I just brushed it off, and that I'm only feeling this way because I'm worried about the house's condition, which, to be fair, anyone would, especially seeing the outside of this place. So, if I was a little smarter, I should have just turned around and went home to my parents. But my inner explorer came out, so I made the mistake of going in to check it out. Seeing how bad it was, there would be no way for anyone to live there. They would have been pretty crazy to do so. Once inside, though, and I saw then someone's inside. I saw that it looked better than outside. When I first walked in, I was greeted by a massive staircase. At this, when you first walk in, and it took a look around. It looks like time stopped. And said this. I went to go check out the living room, and I saw furniture that you could tell was from the 19th century, and a lot of paintings and photos, knickknacks, hung on the wall and on shelves. As I was walking around, looking at all the paintings, photos, and stuff, I started to notice that some of the people in the photos looked so much like my family. I started to get that bad feeling again, but again, I brushed it off. I wanted to know if there was going to be other things that connects my family to this house. If this was my family's house at one point, then why didn't anyone tell me about it? That was the second time that my gut was telling me that something was wrong and that I should leave, but did I listen? Nope. Man, I wish I could have. I decided to check out the rest of the house. I walked through the living room into a hallway which led to the rest of the bottom part of the house. The first door I had passed going down the hall was a half bathroom. It was beautifully decorated for being just a half bath. I thought the full bathroom must be breathtaking then. I pictured a bear claw style bathtub because of the time that forever took hold of the Victorian era. Further down the hall was the kitchen. It was a big kitchen, like one that would fix into a real nice restaurant. It was that huge. I mean, the kitchen at our house is big, but not as big as this kitchen. This house was as big as our house and about half the size of one of our sheds put together. That's how huge this house was. And the inside, from what it seemed like, my mom would have loved to cook in this kitchen. Seeing this would make me wonder if this was my family's home once upon a time. If that's the case, then why leave? Then why does this bad feeling stay instead of leave? But still, there felt like something else. There was a walk-in pantry. It was about half the size of the kitchen that's at the house. It wasn't very impressive. I mean, it's where you keep food. So I went down the hall and outside the laundry room. Again, nothing impressive. I mean, it's a laundry room. You do laundry in it. Self-explanatory. It was, plain. And then, like, it had everything you needed, like a washer dryer, which, stuff like that. It kind of looked like the 60s or something. Then I went back through the kitchen and down another hall, right? The first room that I came to was the dining room. Had a nice table and chair and other dining room sets, but not much else. Out there was a door that led to the patio to the side. It was big and wide. Had a nice backyard with a swing set and stuff, but otherwise not much to it. It's woods. There was a small fire pit there too. There was a couple of other rooms, like a study and a small sunroom that could use to be a room to entertain people. That's about it for downstairs. The study was filled with books, lots of books. There was a chair and a desk. They were kind of fancy, but I think I've seen better. The sunroom has walls of windows and some furniture, like a couple of couches and a couple of chairs and tables. The only thing I could see on the table was a really old book. It was a leather bound and had some weird symbols on it. I wanted to look at it more, and it was going to be the only thing I would take. So I put it in my bag and continued to look around. When I was done with it downstairs, I headed back to the main staircase and headed up. When I got to the top of the steps, I saw a split hallway, so I decided to go down to the right first. The hallway had a few bedrooms and a full bathroom. All of the bathrooms still had things in them. At one point in time, belonged to a couple of little boys in one bedroom, and another bedroom had stuff for a couple of girls. So that gave place that at one point a family lived there, but then decided to up and leave. Why? I don't know. But no one knows at this point. So again, as far as I know, a family, probably my family's lived there, because a lot of the persons again look like people who look like people in my family. So I take it the house one time must have been a family house of at least six. Mom, dad, bedroom was down the other hallway. The full bathroom down both hallways had bear claw tubs, pull chain toilets, and sink. They were all decorated for being from the time that they were from. As I was looking from room to room, I kept hearing noises. I mean, I heard noises when I was downstairs, but those were just sounding like normal, creepy old house noises. But when I got upstairs, though, mostly the parents' and grandparents' rooms, because I found two more bedrooms, felt like furniture from old times, long gone. I started to sound like there was someone else in the house. I knew I was the only person in the house. I had to be. I was already been at this point in the house for about an hour. Yeah, you can lose track of time looking around places. This whole time I didn't hear anything, or anyone like this, like the others in the houses too. When I was in the parents' room, which was by the door that leads to the attic, I started to hear footsteps. They sounded like they were coming from inside the room. I carry a hunting knife in me for safety in case I have to get through the thicker parts of the forest. I can cut myself loose. So I take out my knife just to play it safe. I don't plan on killing anybody, but when it comes to self-defense, if that's what I end up doing, then I gotta do what I gotta do. So I'll walk knife in hand and start to look for where the footsteps could be coming from. I searched the whole room. I found no one. Then I was in a walk-in closet, which belonged to Mom, and I saw a lot of dresses in there. To be honest, my little girl came out, and I wanted to play, but I knew, like, that would not be a good idea. Because if I ran into someone when I was caught off guard, that could have ended badly. So I walked out of the closet, and as soon as I walked out, the room dropped like 20 degrees. And that was not the only part of the house that got cold. The door is super cold. So I went out and tried out that. And when I was headed towards the attic, the whole hallway was cold. And I was thinking, what the hell's going on with this house? I took a deep breath and opened the door and headed up. As soon as I opened the door, all noises stopped. It became like 1,000 times more creepy and cold. I went up the steps and saw nothing but old junk when I got up there. There was not a single sign of anything being there, no signs of any animals, nothing. Nada. I came across at the top of the steps, straight across on the floor was an open trunk. It caught my attention. So I went to go check it out. It was left wide open. But it looked like everything that was supposed to be there was there. I don't know why. I felt like I already knew that, but I did. Inside was a bunch of old papers, photos, books. I didn't know why, but I felt like I already knew that. But oh well. and etc. I started to look through them because at this point right now, I found the deed to the house, and at one point, this place was my family's house. I wonder why my family moved out. I continued to look through the trunk. It became colder still as I was going through more stuff. I felt as cold as our walk-in freezer at home. Then I heard some movement coming from behind me. So I got up, grabbed my knife, and slowly turned around. What I saw next to me turned white as a ghost, and I started to sweat fast and hard. The thing that stood before me was a who knows, but all I knew was that it was not human. This thing was about 8 feet tall, and he had looked like a dude. It was kind of slashed off to just to fit in the house. His he was almost touching the ceiling. He had long black hair, some with black eyes. He had long arms and legs. Looked human, but yet not human. If you get what I'm saying. And this dude also was an all black and had huge black bird-like wings. And as soon as they saw me, it gave me a sinister smile, like the one from the Joker. Not like from Suicide Squad, but like the old-timey Joker, the good Joker. And he had a deep voice. And so holding onto his Joker-type smile, he greeted me by my name and said, My, Anna Athena, so nice to see you again. It's been such a long time since we last met. I was confused. My face said it all. He said, Don't you recognize me? Don't you recognize me? And they started to sound like someone else. Oh, what the hell? Don't you recognize me, my sweet little Anna Athena? After all we've been through together, we've known each other for a very long time. I tried to tell him that I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never met this dude in my childhood. And believe me, I would know I've never met someone like him in my life. And I haven't, so that creeped me out even more than what I already was. And he said, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Let me help you remember, my dear. When I started to back away and try to move around him so I could leave, he came running at me with this weird, like, multi-chambered syringe thing filled with things like blood and other who knows what. I panicked. And I started to run. But he grabbed hold of me and he slammed me to the ground and shoved that needle chamber thing hard in the side of my neck. I woke up a few hours later in the parents' bedroom. My whole body hurt. I felt like I got hit by a truck. But times 10. That's how bad my body hurt after waking up. On top of that, I felt lightheaded and sick to my stomach. I didn't care at that point. All I knew was that I wanted to get out of that house. So I went down that hall, down those stairs, the best I could, and the safest I could, and I got outside. I started feeling better once I got outside. And I ran home the best I could and as fast as I could. And when I got home, since it was getting dark at first, yeah, my parents were a little mad that I was out later than I should have been. But then I started telling them everything that happened. And they'd give each other this look like, oh crap, she found out. We need to tell her what's up. And my mom wrapped me in a tie hug and said, I got some stuff I gotta tell you. She sat me down, calmed me down, and she told me everything. She told me that the creepy little dude, she met him when she was a little girl. She told me that she was barely taller when she met him, and then a bunch of crazy batshit things happened to her. And she told me that the same thing happened to her grandma and every other woman in our family for years. And she said, "You will see things that won't make sense, but as time passes, they will." I'm not gonna go into details right now because it's confusing and scary. But I will plan on telling you. And over time, you'll just come to accept it. I'm 28 years now, and I'm still working on everything that I wrote down that day. A lot of things happened to me. It's hard to explain because I'm still trying to figure out for myself. But one thing I do know is that for sure is one birthday I will never forget. And when I'm ready to, I'll go more into full details of what all happened and what's been happening to me since. But until then, I'm out. Bye.